Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My dear students, today we'll discuss few important SEQs and themes from the topic of legal procedure or court procedures. The topic has already been covered in the class. In this picture, you can see sketch of a courtroom. And you know P stands for prosecution. Prosecution witness stands here. And D in this picture stands for defense witness. This is box for standing defense witness. Defense witness stands here and gives his evidence. First SEQ. What is law? What are various types of law? Give few examples of common law. So what is law? It is code of behavior or rules of conduct enforced by the institutions called the courts. This is definition of law. Law is of various types: civil law, criminal law, common law, statutory law, Islamic law, international law, and many other types. Civil law. Civil law is code of behavior or rules of conduct between the individuals of the society. When disputes are between the individuals of the society, or when the issues are between individual and an institution, it is dealt with under civil law. Civil law is meant for better society. Second type is criminal law. This law is implemented by the state or the government. It is the responsibility of the state or the government to get the culprit punished when criminal law moves. It is related with crime and punishment. It is made for better government, better law and order, for maintaining law and order in the society. Third type is common law. Common law is unwritten law. It is unwritten law based on the conventions and traditions and values of a society. Examples of common law are Panchayat system and Jirga system. Next type is statutory law. Unlike common law, it is written law. It is codified law, given in the form of ordinances and acts by the competent authorities. For example, by the Parliament, by the National Assembly, by the provincial assemblies, or by the head of the state, the President of Pakistan. Examples of this statutory law or written law are Qisas and Diyat law, Pakistan Penal Code (PPC), Civil Procedure Code (CPC), Criminal Procedure Code (CRPC), PMDC Act 1962, Mental Health Ordinance 2001, and many like this. Islamic law. Islamic law can be both civil and criminal. Islamic law is the law which is based on the injunctions of the Holy Quran and Sunnah. So, now you know what is law, what are types of law and examples of common law, jirga system and panchayat system. Next question is, you are a medical legal officer. You issue a medical legal report or a post-mortem report. You are summoned by the court and your evidence has to be recorded there in the court of law. Through what procedure this evidence will be recorded? The answer is, when you are summoned by the court, you have to go to the court in response to that summon, and your evidence is recorded in 5 stages. You go there, you stand in the witness box. First thing is that you take oath. Whatever I will say will be truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Without taking oath, no evidence is considered legal. So first stage is taking oath. Second stage is examination in chief. The purpose is to lay all the relevant facts regarding the case before the court, which are known to the witness. Examination in chief is conducted by the party who is producing the witness, the complainant party. In examination in chief, leading questions are not allowed. When you appear in the court of law as doctor, you go there, you take oath, and you just narrate the whole report you have issued. Next step is cross-examination. Cross-examination is conducted by the lawyer of the opposite party, the defendant party. In cross-examination, leading questions are allowed. As you know, leading questions are the questions which suggest their answers as well. Why cross-examination is allowed? What are the objects? Number one is to impeach the credibility of the witness. That means to assess that the witness is a credible person, reliable person, has got good reputation. Number two, to assess the general value of the evidence given. This is the second reason why cross-examination is allowed. Number three, to elicit facts which the witness has not deposed deliberately or inadvertently. That means if the witness has forgotten few facts, he has not mentioned few facts regarding the case, knowingly or unknowingly, they have to be brought before the court. So these are the three objects of doing cross-examination. Fourth stage In fourth stage, re-examination is done by the lawyer of the same party. This is allowed to resolve any doubt, any ambiguity, any discrepancy emerging as a result of cross-examination. But there is a condition. New issues cannot be raised in re-examination, and if new issues are raised, then these are subjected to cross-examination once again. So a vicious circle sets in. Under these conditions, court has to interfere to stop re-examination to continue further. Fifth stage or step is court questions. The court has the right, the prerogative, the authority to ask questions anytime to resolve ambiguities, to resolve confusions which are there in the mind of the judge. A scientific witness, such as a medical legal officer, a medical officer, or a firearm expert, is allowed to refer to his written notes or the report issued by him to refresh his memory in examination in chief. So this is how evidence is recorded in the court of law through 5 stages: oath, examination in chief, cross-examination, re-examination, and court questions. Another SEQ can be, what are various types or kinds of witnesses which appear in the court of law? Number 1, common or ordinary witness. Common or ordinary witness is the one who narrates after taking oath whatever he has seen or whatever he has perceived with his senses regarding the case. Expert or skilled witness is the one who can draw conclusions, who can give opinion on the basis of facts he has observed. Hostile witness. Hostile witness is the one who tries to cause harm to the party which is producing him, deliberately tries to cause harm, maybe after taking bribe from the opposite party, or maybe because of some other reason. If he deliberately, knowingly tries to cause harm to the interest of the same party which is producing him, he is labeled as hostile witness, and once he is labeled as hostile witness by the court, then the same party which is producing him has the right to cross-examine him. Generally, cross-examination is done by the lawyer of the opposite party only. But in this special case, the same party can cross-examine its own witness if he is declared hostile. Prosecution witness is the one which is produced by the prosecution side, the complainant side. Defense witness is the one which is produced by the defendant party. And at times, for expert opinion, courts request some renowned jurists to appear before the court as court witness. This is considered an honor by the person who appears in the court as court witness. So these are various kinds of witnesses. Next, SEQ can be briefly write about types of courts in Pakistan. Well, the highest appellate court in the country is Supreme Court of Pakistan, also called Apex Court. It deals with cases in which there is requirement that there should be interpretation of law and interpretation of constitutional points. It is not a trial court. Case cannot be tried directly in the Supreme Court. Supreme Court deals with appeals against the decisions of High Court and also deals with cases which require interpretation of law, interpretation of constitution. Next is High Court. In every province of Pakistan, the highest court is High Court. High Court is mixed type of court. Mixed type of court means that it can deal with appeals against the decisions of lower court, the court of district session judge. But it can also deal with cases directly. If cases are directly brought to High Court on writ petitions. So it is called mixed type of court. It can deal with cases directly and it can deal with appeals against the decisions of lower court. High Court can prescribe any punishment under the law, including the death sentence. Next type of court is court of the district judge. District session judge and additional session judges can pass any sentence under the law, including the death sentence. But before execution, if they have awarded death sentence, it has to be confirmed by the High Court. Otherwise, death sentence cannot be implemented unless it is confirmed by the High Court. This court is also mixed type of court. They can deal with the cases directly. In fact, murder cases are tried in the district courts. And district session judge can also listen to the appeals against the decisions of lower courts. Then there are court of the section 30 magistrate. Court of the section 30 magistrate means the magistrate has special power under section 30. This magistrate can award punishment up to 7 years imprisonment and also fine. There are other courts, courts of magistrates working under this magistrate, having power under section 30. And on civil side, there is a senior civil judge in the district and courts of civil judges under him. Federal Shariat Court or bench deals with the laws which are supposed to be against the teachings of Islam, and courts refer these matters to Federal Shariat Court. For example, if the High Court judge thinks that a particular law is against the teachings of Holy Quran and Sunnah, he can refer the matter to Federal Shariat Court. If they also consider against that the law is against the teachings of Islam, they refer the matter to the Parliament to make necessary changes. Only Parliament can change the law. Federal Shariat Court can only recommend it. Another SEQ can be what are various assumptions of law. What are various principles guiding a court while making a decision? So number one assumption of law is that in the eyes of law, everybody is same and responsible for his actions. It means law presumes that everybody is possessing a sound mind and he has to be held responsible for his actions. Second assumption is that everybody is innocent unless proved otherwise. It has to be proved in the court that he is not innocent. And otherwise, law thinks everybody is innocent. It should be proved that the accused is guilty. Next principle is, if at the conclusion of court proceedings, the court is in reasonable amount of doubt, then the doubt is resolved in the favor of the accused. It means that benefit of the doubt always goes in favor of the accused. So these are the various assumptions of law. If there is a question, what are various assumptions of law? So you have to reproduce all these principles. Well, we stop here. We'll continue this topic next time. Thank you very much.